And we're back. All right. So that was eventful. You know, I got like on the phone all day. I'm like, you guys, I gained like 97,000 subscribers in the last like 24 hours. I gained like 40,000 in all of 2023. I'm going live tonight. It's really important. It's like, and I'm live. Everyone's all, you sound like a robot, dude. What do you mean a robot? Your audio is destroyed. I look, fucked up the settings. Messed up the settings. You're not supposed to say the F word in the first minute of a video. So probably nuke this video too. This is awesome. Dude, this is off to a great start. Anyway, so let's talk about BlackRock, this story, because again, in the age where every conspiracy theory ends up becoming proven if you just wait long enough, like, are you kidding me? You have to be kidding. This is a real story. This is a real story. BlackRock goes to the middle of nowhere to some super rando town that has like 11 people living there. They're all, let's shoot a video. Let's just capture the heart of America. And one of the, 2.5 people that end up in their commercial, it's like, man, I wonder what's going to happen with those guys from the small town. It's like one of them's going to try to murder a dude that is definitely probably the biggest adversary that BlackRock has had, because he threatens all of the, threads that they have which control the world. You're all, so BlackRock did the commercial? Yeah. And that kid was on the commercial? Oh, yeah. And then he's going to take a shot at Trump? Mm-hmm. And the Secret Service is going to be looking straight at him for 3 minutes, and not only won't shoot him, they're going to not even tell Trump. It's like, just keep talking, dude. It's fine. Does the guy have a rifle? What? Don't say rifle. You don't want him to hear. Jesus. Well, what if he gets a shot off and he misses? I don't know. What do we do? Probably gonna have to kill him. Well, we got to kill him either way. You have to be joking me. Is that anybody like that coincidence doesn't seem kind of weird? Again, I have no idea, dude. I'm not a person who goes on the internet and starts making claims about things I have no idea. I'm saying that coincidence seems pretty weird to me. Seems a little bit weird to me. Anyway, but so we're going to talk about that. I'll go through the story first of all, and then also I just want to talk about the people who would want Trump to get hit by a rifle round, and then what he does now, because if you understand how things act, like how strings are all attached and who holds the strings and all of that stuff. People, and again, it's possible that it's just one crazy kid who just happened to be in a BlackRock commercial and also happened to sneak up on the only elevated position in the entire place that's 150 yards directly in front of Trump. And then the Secret Service somehow didn't see him. Trump has the worst detail ever. And then they just, all of that could be that it really is a lone gunman. There could have just been this kid who happened to be hanging out on the street. And MSNBC, of all of the news outlets, right? Of all the news outlets, the one 100% definitely controlled by the people who hate Trump, happened to run into the kid. And the guy's all, listen, man, I don't know much about the guy, but I do know he's a lone shooter. And you're like, how do you know that? He's all, it's just a loner. That's the only thing that I know about him. He got bullied as a loner. By the way, he also wore military. He got bullied because of his clothes. Oh, what about him? He used to wear military fatigues, So he's just this one crazy militant guy who loved guns and hated humans. And I don't know. He's also a registered Republican, just so everybody's clear on that. But he also donated to far left groups. So you can hate him no matter who you are, right? Everybody gets to hate this kid, the loner. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, but I don't know anything. I just consider myself a person just like all of you that can look at data points and kind of go, huh, and then also look at the recent past and go, well, the last, I don't know how many times I kind of went like this at information similar to that. I just waited long enough and it was like, oh yeah, they were lying about that. Hey, remember when you really felt like they were like 100% they're lying? You're all, who's going to go to jail? They're like, nobody. No one. How many people died because of the thing that we're talking about that they lied about? It's like uncountable. And you're like, what are the repercussions going to be? Well, they're going to just put him on camera and ask him some hard questions, which he'll just, won't answer. What happens after that? Nothing. Of course, nothing. What do you think happens, guy? What do you think happens? You think these kind of people go to jail? Give me a break, dude. Now, if you get mad and you shoot a guy who is in and actively having sex with your wife at the time, you'll go to jail forever. Like forever. Walk in on your loving, doting wife, find her in the middle of whatever with some dude, you snap, shoot that guy, you go to jail forever. But that guy can pocket $1 billion, lie to the entire world, and then end up leading to let's call it negligent deaths of 1 million people. And we'll face no repercussions because that's the world we live in, right? So my point is, like, let's just talk through some of the people who might have wanted Trump to eat a bullet, and then talk about how Trump can respond to where they might actually face repercussions for the first time ever. And to be clear, I am a staunch opponent of any violence at all, like any kind of this kind of violence, guns, any of that stuff. In terms of like I am not at all endorsing anyone going out and finding political opponents and doing this, or even yapping on X about this stuff. Is like, everybody should be unified on this. Okay. Like, Trump is an American candidate. Joe Biden is an American president. Obama, American president. All of these guys, whether you agree with their politics or not, are leaders that we've, anointed to do a lot of things. Like, you should feel defensive of all of them. I just don't. Anyway, so we're going to talk about all of that stuff, because I do think that there is a very simple way, a single person that you can put in a single job that is so Shakespearean to think about that it's beautiful. It's like a novel if this actually played out. And these guys will go to fucking jail if this is the guy that gets put in and everybody, survives. I'm going to catch up on some super chats. Blanche, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Rick and something, you're the fucking man, dude. Thank you very much. I will try to find your DM. I haven't looked at Instagram very much. Black Mirror episode, Shut Up and Dance. Great show. Very disturbing and weird episode. Yes, everybody should watch it. Yeah, so I'm on vacation. So much for a vacation. I don't understand. Oh, why? Because I'm live? Dude, you want to know? I'll tell you something funny about that, dude, in a second. Blanche, thank you very much. They're trolling. Thank you, sir. I know. Well, they weren't, because there actually was a setting that I messed up at the beginning, so it for sure was broken at the beginning. Choke Dealer, you're the man. And Blanche, thank you very much. Okay, so on the vacation thing, this is all I'll say, just related to the fact that I gained 39,600 subscribers in 2023. Okay, the entire year. And I consider myself like the luckiest person on planet Earth. I'm incredibly grateful for my life. I love what I do. I love doing this. I love talking about this stuff. The fact that I get to do it professionally is unbelievable. And I consider myself, having achieved success in what I was doing. And as a person who looked at my career that way, I gained 39,600 subscribers in 2023. I have gained 97,000 subscribers since noon yesterday, just to put in perspective what we're talking about in terms of growth on the channel in the last, 36 hours. I can't make sense of the analytics that I'm looking at. I'm like, did I don't understand. Did YouTube confuse my channel with someone else's, but I'll take it. I'll take it all day. And I love all you guys, new and all my OGs, dude. You guys are the best. All right, so a couple more, and then we'll get into it. Choke Dealer, what's up, man? How crazy do you think the next UFC event that Trump shows up will be? Oh my God, that place is going to come down. And that's another thing. That is exactly why I was in position to catch this topic and YouTube kind of connect my channel to it. That's the way it all works. Because Trump is synonymous with UFC. It's like. Someone was saying to me today, that they're like, Trump should have picked Dana White as his vice president. I'm like, you're crazy. No one could possibly be more positively impactful on what Trump is trying to do than Dana White in the exact position that he's in. He walks him into these stadiums with 20,000 people in them all over the country, And you want to know what you can't spin? Okay, there's no way to spin 99.8% of people stomping their feet and screaming in support for a person who enters a building. It's not spinnable, dude. You can't take a clip of what he said and say that he was saying it's going to be a violent bloodbath. And by the way, if you are not clear on what that entire quote was, and then you go read how that was covered, and then you go watch that full clip, it should shatter any trust that you have in your news sources, because that was just outright lie. Just the omission of that information can only be described. It's just a complete and total intentional lies. Anyway, but you can't spin it. So Dana's ability to impact culture on the level that he has and to show the world how popular he really is. You don't want Dana as a politician. You want him exactly where he is. And then someone was saying Candace Owens. I'm like, exact same answer, dude. Exact same answer. Or Tucker, exact same answer. They are more valuable to him in the exact position that they're in. Politics is not for everybody. You know what I mean? Anthony, thank you very much. So parents of the people are both behavioral psychologists. Oh, so maybe not parents, MK Ultra. I'm joking, people, but maybe not, MK Ultra. Did you see the people pointing out the guy when he was climbing the rooftop? 100%. We talked about this dude. The guy was getting pointed out for 3 minutes. You know what I heard today that was, man, I don't even know what to say about it, but I heard, and maybe you guys can verify whether this is accurate or not, that a police officer, one of the beat cops, went up to the roof, went up on the roof because they were yelling for him, ended up face to face with the guy, and the guy drew down on him, and the cop, kind of ran away or whatever. And then the guy took the shot. Again, this is just something I heard on a channel, pretty, credible channel historically, but not something I've verified beyond that. I don't know. Everything about that entire situation is wrong when it comes to response, preparation. It just makes you cannot talk your way around that one detail. Incompetence for not, having agents on the roof or whatever else, however else you wanted to make sure that the person, your sole responsibility is to protect this one individual from murder. And for 100% sure there are an uncountable number of people who want him to get exactly that. Okay. You can say incompetence, maybe that there was someone able to get up on that roof, maybe a level of incompetence that's inexcusable. But having 3 minutes of people screaming, there's a guy on the roof and has a rifle. Okay. Oh, we couldn't take the shot because of rules of engagement. You're like, man, that is stupid, but I can still classify that under negligent incompetence. But as soon as you factor in what this dime piece right here said on the stream last night, which was, but why is he still on stage? That you can't talk your way around. Okay. There's no explanation there. Well, we didn't want to take a bad shot and just shoot a citizen who was actually there with a camera. Okay. But when people yelled gun, 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 rifle, shooter, 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 what the fuck is Trump doing on the stage? Why is he still standing up there? One of the conversations a lot of people have had with me has been about the sequence of the shots and kind of, so when pop, 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 and then pop, pop. And I haven't engaged in that conversation because I don't feel like my ear is trained enough to be able to identify which shots are going which direction, aside from the first shot that hit Trump's ear, right? What I will say is the spacing between the shots is weird, at least to me. And again, I want to preface it that I am not the person to have this conversation with at all in terms of expertise. But I would be very interested to hear what guys like, Tim Kennedy and Rob O'Neill were on Drinking Bros last night. I started watching it, and then I was watching it at 2 a.m, and I think I fell asleep watching it, so I didn't watch the entire thing. But I want to know what those guys think. I'm very curious about what those guys think. But as far as what happens now, you got Trump. And here's the other thing. I can't believe I didn't even open with this. something I missed when I was talking about this in my previous 2 pieces of content that I put up yesterday was this was the last rally before the RNC. The last one, dude. You know what I mean? This is like Neo Shop. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate this very much. I will buy my daughters something nice with this in Mexico, and they will be eternally grateful. Thank you very much, dude. Dana White announcing Trump in Wisconsin rally. Oh, RNC. Yeah, I know. If you're new to my channel, let me just, I guess I should just state a few things. I consider Dana White the biggest badass on the face of the fucking earth. He's one of those, like, Joe Rogan covered it perfectly in one of those conversations that he had with Ben Shapiro, where he said, what's the point of having fuck you money unless you tell people fuck you? I'm butchering that, but that was, that's what fuck you money means, is you could tell anybody fuck you if you want to. You can stick to your guns. You don't need anything from anyone. Like a person needing things from people they interact with is the beginning of the end of people standing by their principles in many cases. Dana can tell anyone to fuck off, and he does. If someone tells him you shouldn't do this, like when he was going to introduce Trump, and he's like, and they told me, don't do it. And Dana explains his thought process. Like, you know what? This guy stood by me from the very beginning when we were really struggling, and he was someone who really helped us. And so I said, you know what? Fuck these guys. I'm going to do what I can for him. That's what I'm talking about. I respect that more than anything. Like every once in a while, Dana will bite someone's head off a little bit, more than maybe they deserve. But that's like, to be expected from, a naturally combative fucking savage like Dana White. I have a feeling that he and I would or will get along swimmingly. He's fucking awesome, dude. And honestly, as soon as he says he's known Trump for 30 years, like when he posts on Instagram and he knows him personally for, 20, 30 years. And he's like, this is who this guy is. I don't understand how people think that they know Trump's personality or what he's like as a person, etc., based on shit that they read in articles exclusively written by people who A, do not know him, and B, despise him. It's like, guys, like, do you want to know, like, if you really want to know what Megan Rapinoe is like, you think I'm a good source of information? I'm like, here, let me write you an article about this fucking, I was about to get this demonetized. I don't like her. Okay. If you want to like Megan Rapinoe, I am not a good source of fucking information for you. I don't like her. Bottom line. And I'll openly say, like, I am not an unbiased source of information on her, dude. So just because there's a lot more of these people and, they went to these colleges and they're like, oh, geez, I'm sorry. Did you say Harvard School of Journalism? They're all, yeah, Harvard School of Journalism. You're all, wow. Is it true that you can actually give yourself a blowjob? And they're like, yep, you learned that at Harvard as well. Now, here's this article that I wrote about Trump. It says that he's a sociopath and a narcissist, and he's implementing fascism in America. And they're like, wow. So do you have any evidence of him doing that? Because he was president for 4 fucking years. Yeah, I do, right here. And you're like, but that's not true. What you're saying right there, that's not what happened at all. You're intentionally leaving out a bunch of information, and this is just not true. Yeah, but I went to Harvard. Well, that doesn't make what you wrote true, okay? Like the fact that like these guys wrote this story that Trump called, soldiers who lost their lives in World War I or World War II losers. Oh, look at these losers. How the fuck did anyone believe that story? Like, oh yeah, Trump was at the cemetery for fallen soldiers, and he's like, look at these losers who got hit with bullets. A person who would believe that story is a fucking retard. I don't like just a retard. Even if like the guy who wrote it has a degree from Yale, Princeton, Harvard, and whatever. Okay, like, do you have absolutely no ability to disseminate information and say like, okay, this might not be true? That really sound like Trump's personality? Dead soldiers? So Trump respects nothing? What do you think Trump respects more than people who sacrificed their lives in battle for a higher purpose? If you think that he would call them losers, you are a horrendous judge of people. I don't need Dana to verify to me that is the dumbest motherfucking story I've ever heard. I could not believe that people believed that. It's ludicrous. It's absolute lunacy. So, like when you start trying to think through the fact, so again, this was the last event before the RNC, right? If that goes differently, they're going into the Republican National Convention and they're like, man, what a tragic day. But, we're going to have to figure out how to move forward. Who can we run against this juggernaut on the other side, Joe Biden? I mean, dude, you saw his debate. Trump was completely outmatched. Do we have anybody that's a better debater than Donald Trump? God rest his soul. We're mourning, but, Who do we got? They're all Nikki Haley. She's the one. She will eat Biden's lunch, even though he's so incredible on the microphone. He definitely never loses his train of thought and definitely doesn't seem like he might die just of natural causes within the next 6 or 7 minutes. Like that's what would have happened. And, they would have pretended to be sad for 5 seconds and moved on. And instead, the real juggernaut is alive, and now he's stronger than he's ever been. And whoever is assuming that there are people behind it, and again, just bringing you back to this, the shooter was in a BlackRock commercial. BlackRock, I think BlackRock now has, I don't want to quote it because I haven't looked it up since, the last couple of years, but last I looked, I'm pretty sure they're like $9 trillion under management. I will look that up real quick because this seems, 10.65 trillion. Just in case you think I'm making that up. $10.65 trillion. Okay. There's make-believe numbers. I can't even wrap my brain around what that even means. Those numbers are too big. Right. I did see one time I saw a graphic in a video that one of my favorite creators of all time did. He subsequently got booted off this platform. In all honesty, it was, he made very poor decisions, like in terms of like pushing the envelope in a way that was so obvious that he was going to get kicked off the platform. But, nonetheless, still to this day, one of my absolute favorite creators, Mouthy Buddha. And he had this thing and he was trying to illustrate the difference between a trillion and a billion. And he's like, okay, so this is $1 million. It was it was like whatever, like, $1 million is not very big, in stacks of hundreds. And he's like, this is $1 billion. And, it's 1,000 of the million. But then when it did the trillion, it's like, it is so insane to look at the volume of cash. And it really just puts in perspective. You're like, damn, dude, like these guys, someone it's just so much money and they can do whatever they think is, going to drive good financial outcomes for them. And I don't feel like I have any kind of insight into how they feel about their global responsibility to humanity. I do think that people who automatically default to that, like Larry Fink is just a dude trying to extract as much money out of the world as possible, and there are no other factors to consider, are stupid. Like, I don't believe in just a pure evil. Just that's not true. Actually, there are a couple people that I do think are exactly that. I would never say them by name on a stream, but hypothetically, if we were going to talk recent past, between 2020 and 2022, there's some things happening around the world, and there were one person in particular who seemed to somehow have control of the entire global apparatus related to the response. And that person, in my opinion, is some kind of broken automatron where if the whole entire world economy was a game of Monopoly and there was $10 trillion in total circulation and he controlled 9,999,000,000,000, that would not be enough for him. He'd be like, I can still get that last bit of money. You're like, bro, the entire world is starving. There's no one. You have it all. He's like, no, I don't. I need the last billion. You're like, what is wrong with you? Well, look, I'm doing it for philanthropy. No, you're not, guy. Anyway, but Larry Fink, I don't know enough about him to have an opinion like that. I haven't really looked into BlackRock. All I know is that they don't like Trump, and they have a lot of dough. Oh, Kristen, thank you very much. Hang on, let me pull that up. Yarrow, thank you very much. I grew up enjoying Jack Black and Tenacious D movies. Jack Black saying if he had one wish, it would be the guy did not miss ruin my. No, he did not. Did he really say that? Did he seriously say that? If someone super chats me that link, I'll follow him on Instagram. Like, you don't have to do a lot of money. I just want to make sure that I see it so I can pull it up. I will literally forbid my family from watching a single fucking thing that has Jack Black in it for the rest of their lives, if that's true. Did you hear that, Gabrielle? I don't actually want to even tell her unless I verify it's true. Kristen, thank you very much. That is very, very generous. I appreciate you very much. Have you heard Tom McDonald's song called You Missed? Was amazing. I have not. However, what I did hear today, my friend Melissa sent me right before this, and it was the 50 Cent Many Men rendition that they did like an AI Trump voice over it. It is so fucking funny. It's one of those things that that's the kind of thing that will instantly take any revenue that you generate with your content and just go directly to 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent, dude, but not that much. But you know what? After the stream's over, I'll put a link to that in the description because it's really good. The ones behind the curtain. Yes. Look at you. Mouthy Buddha. Dauntless dialogue. You're welcome, guys. And also, anyone who knows Mouthy Buddha, where the fuck is he? Like, he just fell off, or at least where he had been making content. I mean, I'd pay for that site specifically for him. And he's been out of commission for months. I'm like, is he all right? The first time he disappeared, I seriously was like, dude, they might have knocked him off just because of the stuff that he covers primarily, which I'm not talking about. Like, he kicked off the goddamn platform. But and I've gotten a strike for talking about that exact topic on my old channel that I had to delete. Sales Arena, how are you, sir? Thank you very much. Why your channel grew in a day, how you articulated the coverage on Trump, but did so nailing what everyone's thinking. I watched Candace Owens 2 days later, basically backing your thoughts. We appreciate it. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I mean, listen, dude, I genuinely try to think and cover these things, giving the benefit of the doubt to most people who are like me, like just observers, American observers. I have a really hard time with people like Sam Harris and like, what's his name? Bill Maher, where you're like, you have a serious blind spot when it comes to Trump. It's like, do you not even realize how directly you're contradicting everything you just said? Like every single thing that you've just said, which I agree with. 1 second later, someone asks you about Trump, and then you're like, I don't remember any of the things that I said. I have no self-awareness at all. How I talk about Trump is a direct, contradiction to everything I said. I'm like, man, that is weird. I have a hard time with those guys. It makes me not like, Bill Maher, not as much, but I cannot do Sam Harris, man. I liked him, and, my mom loves him. So he gets like, out of 10, he gets 3 because my mom's really smart and she likes him, but he gets 3 total because he would get a fucking 0 from me after how he handled the pandemic and then him covering Trump. He's crazy. I also think he's a complete fucking fraud to himself. His whole thing is like, I'm going to calmly do yoga poses and talk to you in this calm voice. When in reality, he is like a deeply angry person. Like I can just, I look at him and I can see it. He fucking hates Trump, like hates him. And if I guarantee you strap him to a lie detector, I won't guarantee that. My hypothesis would be if you strapped him to a lie detector, you'd be like, do you wish that Trump would have gotten hit with that bullet? If he said no, that would spike the needle, is my hypothesis, which is insane. If you've never met someone and you wish death on them, no matter what you've read in your media, you need to talk to someone. That is insane. You don't know them. Oh, I know Trump. He's talking online all the time. No, you don't. Okay? What you should do is go look up people that know him personally or have met him for the first time, and especially people who are critical of him, and then spent time with him. And 100% of them are like, he's awesome, man. I had him pegged wrong. You think all of them are wrong? You think you're smarter than all of them? Anyway, Kristen, thank you very much. It was Kyle, not Jack, but Jack didn't stand up and say that's not appropriate. Oh, wait. Kyle from the other guy in the band? I can't hold Jack accountable for something that some asshole said, even if he's friends with him. I mean, like, that's a serious fucking thing to say. I mean, like, that's like the kind of thing where if a person committed some kind of crime against a kid or something, I mean, they're dead to me as far as I'm concerned. Like that guy, whoever said that, he could come to my house and be all, hey man, I would just love to, play some music for your kid's birthday on the house. I'm a really big fan. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house, guy. You remember that tweet you sent that you had one wish in the world? You wish that the American president that got 70 million votes in the last election, that his head got blown up on national television. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm not want my kids around a fucking lunatic like you. But I'll teach him the guitar. I don't care. Beat it, dude. Psycho. Stereotypical, thank you very much. I'm working on a collection of songs based on the 2024 climate called The Last American Patriot. I'll send you a tweet for you to review. Yeah, you should definitely do that. And everybody should go follow me on Twitter, because I always forget to plug my Instagram and Twitter whenever I'm doing videos or live streams. And I actually tweet a fair amount. And I also do Instagram a fair amount. Like I do, like my Instagram is like, I like in my stories, I post like our lives a lot, dude, So both of them are real Jesse on fire. So like, my handle is always real Jesse on fire. Walking back. Thank you very much, dude. Kristen, you sent a video on video. Hey guys, Kristen sent a video on Instagram DM. Kristen, it better not be your feet, because I'm not going to be able to focus after seeing that. I'm just kidding. Everybody always sends up Gabrielle's. Hey, I want to buy a picture of your feet, but your face need to be in it. I'm like, you better hit up Alexa Grasso. Gabrielle's not doing that, you freak. Jared, thank you very much. Congrats on the 50K subs in a day, brother. Gangstership, been watching you since day one. You are a fucking savage. Thank you very much, dude. Okay, now I'm going to ignore the super chats just for a few minutes so I can actually collect my thoughts and say what I wanted to say about how Trump can, flip this, right? So ultimately, Trump has a lot of strengths as a leader, right? And a truly great leader has to know what their expertise is and what their expertise is not, right? Like no one is going to go into a job like president of the United States and be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and spearhead every single thing in this room without counseling anyone and without having very trusted advisors that handle this stuff that I'm going to make decisions on. But the thing is, you also have to know who you can appoint into positions that are absolutely critical that you can trust. And in my opinion, your choices for people in Washington, D.C. that you can absolutely trust 100% is almost impossibly limited, because you don't know who they know. You have no idea. Now, when he picks Vance for the for the VP, he picks a 39-year-old. Okay, Trump is brilliant with people. That like when I saw that pick, I was like, oh, he wants someone who hasn't been in Washington long enough to get completely corrupted and have all these dirty relationships. I guarantee if you asked him and he was being candid with you, that would be one of the reasons that he picked him. Like every bit of everything has to do with human interaction, relationships that, this guy wants this from this guy wants, whether they're giving money to the campaign or not. A lot of it's just relationships. Like, dude, there are people who I get news sent to me about that I mean, any other person, I would 100% do a big extended video on. I won't do it on them because I have a personal relationship with them. I won't light them up because I know them and I like them. But I'm not I'm not like some fucking elected official whose job it is to do exactly that. Right? Like that's not corruption. That's me making a choice to prioritize my friendship with someone over views that I would get on YouTube. Very different dynamic. But when you get into Washington and it's your job to do X, Y, Z, and relationships are going to cause you to not only not do it, but in many cases operate in a corrupt manner, I think that's the norm, right? So the thing that I'm talking about is who Trump is going to make attorney general or put in charge of the Justice Department, okay? Now, hear me out on this. In my opinion, there's one person that you would be able to literally bet your entire life savings on with certainty if the goal of the Trump administration is to root the kinds of people out who are behind, assassination attempts. Whether I'm not even talking about his necessarily, because again, I'm not saying for sure that this kid wasn't a lone gunman. I would say it's pretty fucking weird if all of this stuff all came together, but nonetheless, I'm not in a position to make hard and fast factual claims. But other stuff like that, deep state stuff that Trump has been the victim of since the beginning of his entire thing. I mean, dude, look at what they put this guy through, and he just keeps on fighting. It's unbelievable. And because of that, in his person that he is only going to fight. Like, there's no scenario where he's going to get into the presidency. He's going to try to reconcile with these people. They tried to murder him, if they did. But also, even if they didn't, they certainly orchestrated trying to put him in jail. They orchestrated slandering him with absolute outright lies in every possible way. They got him kicked off of social media saying he was trying to overthrow the government without any, without any communication as such publicly, or without anyone bringing any firearms. Again, it's not quite as ludicrous to believe as him going to a cemetery and calling people got killed losers, American soldiers losers. That's the dumbest thing of all time. But pretty goddamn close to that is if you have, recycled, he tried to overthrow the government, dude. Oh, he did? He's the fucking commander in chief. He commands the entire military. And so what he went with, he saw, hey, let's get a bunch of guys that are really, passionate supporters of ours, and let's get them wasted. Let's make sure they're unarmed, and then let's have them walk single file, into the Capitol. If they get a little rowdy in the front, they get a little bit rowdy. It is what it is, man. We're overthrowing the government. You want to bring any guns? Hell no, man. They don't need guns. They're just going to walk in with their beers. They're going to slam beers on the ground, be all, we run this bitch now, and boom, I took over the country. It's a coup. It's the fucking dumbest narrative in the history of the world. Who the fuck believes that? I'm not saying people, there's plenty, again, is there lots of evidence that January 6th was extremely different than the mainstream media, presented? Like, if you just wanted to pull on one string, just go pull on Ray Epps. That string's going to turn into a real long one, dude. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. So let me just make sure I understand this. So this guy's in jail for 22 years. This guy's in jail for 15 years. Was he there? No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. No, he wasn't there. 22 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sedition, inciting a coup on America. Okay, right. And then what about this guy? They're all, yeah, he's doing 5 because he walked into the building and took a selfie. 4 years for that guy. What's he charged with? Does it matter? I mean, yeah, it kind of fucking matters. Yeah. Well, don't worry about it. What about this guy who's 6'6" and is on video 8 different times rallying groups of Trump supporters to commit violence and then raid the Capitol violently? What about him? They're all, oh man, what a crazy conspiracy theory. He's on video. He's on video. What? He's on video. What are you talking about? Is it a deep fake? I don't know. I haven't reviewed that video. Oh, really? The head of the FBI. You haven't reviewed a video of the #1 most videoed inciter of violence on January 6th? What about the January 6th committee? You guys seen any videos on Ray Epps? They're all, no, we haven't. It's weird. Like, we don't even know who that is. Okay. Well, why would he not be in jail if all of these guys are? They're all, well, man, all I know is these crazy Trump supporters have ruined Ray Epps' life. Okay. They've ruined his life. This poor guy is just trying to live out his days in Arizona. And now people are harassing him on X. Mommy, what's gaslighting? That's fucking gaslighting, kid. We're like, oh, so we're just all crazy? We're a bunch of conspiracy theorists? Fucking guy. And then, all of that then whispers into people's ear 1 second before they go run over a fucking barricade. Is that guy a Fed? What? Is he a federal agent? We don't know. Is he a federal informant? Again, we don't even know who Ray Epps is. Jeez, just back off. Can you, in front of the committee, under oath, say that there were no special agents in the FBI who were on site and inciting violence? We can't talk about, methods and that kind of thing. Obviously, like this is a public forum. We can talk about it later. Oh, so you're going to admit it later? What? No. Okay. Like, as soon as, like, this is what I'm saying. If you actually go and review all of that and you still think that that's a clean situation with Ray Epps, you're as dumb as a person who believed that Trump went to the cemetery and was like, these dead losers. It's ridiculous. But the thing about it is they've done such a good job with a lot of people who are smart, poisoning their brains to where you could try to show them. You're like, dude, you need to see this. And they won't watch it. They're like, I don't want to watch any of this conspiracy theory shit. It's not conspiracy theory shit, dude. It's literally a video of the fucking guy. Why don't you just watch this one video and then explain to me how this guy's not in jail? Okay? Because if he's not in jail, you need to ask yourself, why is he there inciting groups of people to storm the Capitol? What the fuck is he doing there? Why? Did he cooperate and, testify against a bunch of other people? Like, give me some kind of explanation why this guy's not in jail, unless, if they won't talk about his status as a federal agent or a federal informant, then maybe they had a reason they wanted to incite violence. And then subsequently, they used that to kick Trump off all of social media 1 second after he is going to be out of office. Okay, because I said that all along at the end of the campaign, and when going through the legal challenges, I'm like, they've got a fucking bigger problem than him not being president. He's the most, like, he's got a voice so big that, like, he could be like, hey guys, I drank a glass of water today. I don't think anyone should drink Evian anymore. And fucking, they're going to lose 60% of their market share tomorrow. Think about what he can do to politicians that he doesn't like, or business people. The guy's a fucking juggernaut enemy. And if he's not the president, he's got all day to just, control population with people who love him. You know what I mean? And so you got a real suspicious situation of incitement and police that are letting people into the Capitol on video, undisputed. You got a bunch of people dressed as, Trump supporters on security video, just walking through there with police in tow. Like, all right, guys, let's get the footage of you slamming shit on the ground. And if you are a person who hears what I'm saying right now and you're like, wow, you're one of those QAnon kooks. Nope. You are just uninformed. This is a fact. Every single thing that I've said is a fact. It's not even disputed. If you don't know, it just means that you don't know shit. I won't say his name, but there's a dude who I really like, but was not well informed on the Ray Epps situation. And he's a big podcaster. And he said something on a podcast where he said something about, he's like, oh, you mean Ray Epps that, like, he was getting attacked by the right? And I fucking hit up one of his best friends. I'm like, you need to tell him he needs to walk that back. He's going to get his fucking esophagus ripped out of his throat. Like, tell him to go watch this. I sent a bunch of videos. I'm like, tell him to go watch this. He's trying to appeal to a conservative audience. They're going to literally stick things down his throat. Like, here, once you drink this, guy. So, yeah, Ray Epps, Kyle Rittenhouse, you're not allowed to be wrong on those because everybody knows. Anyway, so they deplatformed Trump. It's like all of this stuff is all a coordinated effort to take away his power. And as that has not worked, now he gets a shot taken at him, right before the RNC. Now, if we want to hold those people accountable, longest tangent fucking ever, who can you rely on to do that? Who do you put in charge of the Justice Department? RFK. That is this guy. If you don't know RFK's history, I know a lot of people who, would align with me on the Trump stuff are probably not fans of RFK. I totally understand. Okay. But the enemy of your enemy is your friend. And there is no one more incorruptible than that guy. And there's also no one who understands the way the Justice Department works better than him. And the guy has a lifelong reason to bury these motherfuckers. They murdered his father and his uncle. He grew up without his father and his uncle because they shot them to death. Okay? And he dedicated his life to rooting out corruption initially as an environmental attorney. Everybody thinks of him as like the vax guy. That's not, he came up in doing environmental stuff. And he just buried these guys. Bury them. That's why they hate him so much. That's why they put out so much negative propaganda about him, is because people who are very powerful were getting rooted out and just eviscerated by him. He is not corruptible. You can't, you're not going to crack his exterior. He's going to go do the research and he's going to go prove what you did in court and fucking bury you. That's who he is. Straight up. And what would be more Shakespearean than putting him in charge of the Justice Department, given his background, and you're like, you have total autonomy. Go get him, dude. Go get him, RFK. That situation right there is like, I honestly, when I say it out loud, everything in my brain is just like, they'll knock them both off. Like that's a situation where they will do anything to make sure those guys do not survive, is what I think. I have no idea. I don't know any of these people. But I do know what the outcome would be if they did put him in that position, which means I can assume people would have a pretty heavy incentive to get rid of him because he will fucking put him in prison. You know what I mean? So anyway, like I actually, like I had previously talked about RFK. I'm like, dude, what if Trump put RFK on the ticket? And actually my mom, I told you, smart, was like, he won't work with Trump because of Trump's environmental, you know, like the stuff he did with like environmental stuff that is a total impenetrable deal breaker for RFK. And maybe it wouldn't have worked for the VP because I actually heard that RFK said, no, Justice Department, something different, dude. Like like if let's just talk it out, right? Like if RFK wants to hold people accountable for the types of things that we're talking about, if he doesn't accept that job, then none of them get held accountable. Does anybody believe that someone else is going to actually go root these guys out, put them on trial? I do not. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think anyone else will do it. Or at the very least, I wouldn't feel like I knew for sure that the person doing it couldn't be corrupted. I don't know all these politicians like the way that some people do, I guess, when they watch this shit all the time. But like, you know, they're like, oh, you know, Barr, he's, you know, this is a really solid guy, whatever. Okay. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Okay. RFK, I feel bulletproof that I know would fucking root those guys out. Anyway, I want to talk more about the BlackRock stuff too. But I got to get caught up on these. Appreciate all you guys. Oh, Kristen, I will look up that Instagram DM. Actually, I'll do that while I'm doing this. Free to chill. Free to chill. Are you officially endorsing Trump for president like Elon did? Get 100%. Absolutely 100%. Who is not on board with Trump as president right now? After that, I mean, I was already on board before, but like after that, what do you want? Like, what do you want the president to be? What do you want him to do? You want to represent us on the global scale, the global stage. God, why do I always do that? Global scale, global stage. It's like, people think because of the world they've grown up in that the United States grip on power is absolute and can never be shaken at all. It's not true. And I want to finish these out. And then I actually want to talk about the deep state in a way that's not just like, oh, these guys are the evildoers, because those guys are responsible for things that citizens cannot even fathom. And they should understand what kind of things these guys deal with, because it's not just like, again, they're not twisting their mustaches in a lot of cases, but nonetheless, right? Like, we are not an impenetrable fortress of power at all. If you've got someone going out, like, do you guys feel like our position in the world is stronger now under, you know, Joe Biden? And again, I do not like speaking negatively about presidents. I really don't. I don't like it. That feels dirty coming out of my mouth. I don't do it on either side. But who on earth would feel confident about Joe Biden walking into any fucking room right now and being responsible for representing our interests? The guy can't even fucking finish 2 sentences. You know what I mean? Prior to not being able to, you know, finish 2 sentences, I would have looked at how he handled the stuff in Ukraine. I'm like, this guy is absolutely stone corrupt. This guy can't be fucking trusted. You know what I mean? He can't be trusted. Look at his shit. Look at what he pulled over there. And you go, oh, they're gonna, you know. I don't get, like, you think I care about whether Burisma gets indicted or not in Ukraine? No. What do we have to do with that? They're corrupt over there. Cool. Let them handle it. No, we're going to withhold the loan. And then they're going to give, Hunter $1 million a year and whatever. It's like, I don't need to know anything else. He's fucking corrupt. Now, I expect a certain level of corruption from most politicians, not some deal breaker, but like a corrupt person with no brain. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Jared Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Congrats on the 50K subs in a day, brother. Gangsta ship and watches this day. Went super happy. Thank you very much, dude. Honestly, I'll just give you I will give you an accurate read, because it's like, yeah, I'm at 97,000 subscribers since noon yesterday, which is fucking bananas, dude. I am incredibly grateful. Thank you guys very much. Oops. Wait. Oh, God damn it. There we go. Yaro, thank you very much, dude. Appreciate you. While Jack didn't say it was live and Jack supports Biden, he should say, I don't agree, at least. I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, for sure. I'm not like yay Jack Black on that. But again, my response to someone saying they wish that a bullet would have killed Donald Trump is a biblical one. Like, they're dead to me. And Jack Black not coming out and be like in Hollywood too, and being like, listen, my best friend, you can't say things like that. Like, he should have done that, but I can't cut his entire, existence out of life for him not being brave enough to do that. You know what I mean? But again, the guy who said that is dead to me forever. You can't, like, even if he was like, geez, I saw the light on that MSNBC, CNN, and all these guys have been lying all along. I actually really like Trump now. I'd be like, well, that's cool. But nonetheless, when you didn't, you publicly wished that a bullet would have killed him. You know how many politicians I don't like? You like Megan Rapinoe. I can't stand Megan Rapinoe. I was talking about her earlier. That's the only reason I bring her up. You think I would wish that she got killed by a bullet? Of course not. I think she is essentially irredeemable, a narcissistic lunatic. I would never wish violence on her, dude. Sir, and a bullet to the head? You're a psycho, dude. You're a brainwashed psycho. I don't give a shit that now you saw the light. You're never fucking coming in my house. You're not talking to my kids. I'm not listening to your music. You're a fucking lunatic. Anyway, Stryker, thank you very much. Trump 24, thank you for God's work. You have a big fan base in Toronto. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you guys, and it means a lot, dude. The real John Doe, crazies on both sides, chances of retaliation. Again, every time that I talk about this particular topic, I'm going to hammer home. That is the absolute last thing anyone should do. Violence, political violence. Everyone will lose. There will not be a winner. And when I'm talking, lose on that, in that category, you're talking lose big, the worst kinds of losses. A guy yesterday threw himself on top of his family and got hit in the head with a rifle round that blew his brains onto his children. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. No violence, dude. I will never endorse it. Not to mention, I don't care how justified a person thinks they are. If, in the current climate, I'm not going to speculate about some fucking make-believe world where the world is imploded or something. But in the current paradigm, I will never support violence. I will fucking, never. And I, by nature, am a pretty fucking violent person, dude. But that's in terms of like, oh, guy spit in my wife's face, I'll break his fucking jaw. This is a completely different thing, dude. This is like real political life and death violence that will have, domestic and global implications. And Americans on Americans, like never, dude. Again, Brittany Griner, I fucking disagree with every single thing that Brittany Griner says, or at least said prior to being in Russia. I also have serious questions about, her status in the WNBA. You ever heard her talk? There's no way anyone would ever believe that was a girl if she wasn't named Brittany. But nonetheless, when she's in Russia and they've got her in a gulag, everyone's like, leave her there. I'm like, fuck that shit. She's American, dude. Bring her back. Then we can, you can hate each other again. It either means something or it doesn't, dude. She's American. She's in a gulag. They're holding her specifically because she's American. You can't fuck that shit. You know what I mean? A chance of retaliation, sure. It would be a horrendously self-destructive idea for anyone to actually do anything. USMC Devil Dog, what's up, my man? Deployed Marine, love your channel. Keep it up. Thank you so much, dude. And thank you for your service. Genuinely. J6 insurrection is a far left conspiracy theory. Yes. And it's also one that is so laughably easily, debunked that you kind of have to ask yourself what kind of person would buy it. Wait, so they try to overthrow the government without guns? Oh, yeah. Didn't you see the guy in the picture that had zip ties? Zip ties. Yeah. Yeah, I did actually see him. So what was his plan? He's just going to zip tie a bunch of people with no guns. He's all, hey, freeze. They're all, what? He's all, freeze. Why? Because I'm zip tying you. They're all, why would I freeze? So, because I said freeze. They're all, do you have any weapons? He's like, no, I just have zip ties. You're like, wow, this is adding up. This makes sense. David Saper, thank you very much, dude. On a happier note, Joe Scarborough was completely humiliated by his own network today. I will definitely look that up. Absolutely. Richard Emmel, thank you very much. You used to think you were a UFC blogger until the last 36 hours. As on 3 minutes ago, you have another out of soon to be millions of subscribers. Keep it up. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you. That's the thing. Like, people don't. I had a second channel. Okay. Like, I had a second channel that I built for a couple of years. It was small, I think I had like 29,000 subscribers when I got rid of it, because in the pandemic, I always said, I'm like, I think this is going to be the bigger channel, but the topics, the pandemic, it was, I don't know if you guys can tell, it's very challenging for me to not say what I think. And the pandemic, given my family's history with, the shots, I couldn't help myself. And I actually was very careful. Speaking of which, actually, I wanted to tell you guys that I ordered, Mitch Aguilar, he's the Navy SEAL that went in and did the thing with Sean Strickland. So his story was like, he lost his Instagram because he was so against the tyranny that they were implementing during the pandemic that he actually went so hard on Instagram to open people's eyes to what was going on that he lost his account multiple times. And he was making I think he was making $700,000 a month for a supplement company exclusively through his Instagram account. And they just axed it because he said things that ended up in the future becoming 100% agreed upon facts. And I ordered some of his products, which are these, the websites, MASF supplements, but Smashing Greens and Smashing Reds. They are the bomb, first of all. I'll tell you right now, he didn't pay me nothing. But I told him, I'm like, if they're good, I'll plug them. And I got them. I use them every single day, and they really are the bomb. And you'd be supporting a dude if you go to the channel and watch the interview. I knew that he had lost his account, but I hadn't seen any of his stuff. When he explained why it happened, I was like, dude, like that. The guy's a Navy SEAL who put it all on the line. And then when he was done, he put it all on the line and lost it for American principles that he believed in enough that he ended up costing himself millions of dollars. So that's who you'd be supporting if you if you buy his products. He's a fucking badass. And I swear to you, if they weren't good products, I wouldn't have done it. I'm like, I'm not going to destroy my fucking reputation on it, but they're fantastic. So that is what I got there. All right. So, choke dealer, you're the man, dude. Everything that the left is accusing Trump of is exactly what they're doing. Yes. And it's one of the most frustrating things about how they gaslight, dude. It's like, it's so challenging to deal with. You're like, he's a threat to democracy? That's your fucking tagline? Threat to democracy? He's the leading candidate, and you're indicting him for what exactly? He paid Stormy Daniels to not talk about a sexual escapade that they had together. You're all, okay, he was in the middle of a presidential candidacy, and he paid a porn star to not tell the story about when he slept with her because he didn't want that to end up in the media. And they paid her and made that deal. Yes. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, Michael Cohen, his attorney, is the one who paid her. And then he billed Donald Trump under legal services. They're all, okay, so Cohen, who is his attorney, structured this deal and then billed him for it. And Trump paid him going off of the advice of his legal counsel, whose responsibility it is to tell him what's legal and what's not. So he trusted his legal counsel and just paid the bill. And the legal counsel subsequently during the trial admitted on the stand that he's done it before, except every time he overcharged him and stole money from him. What's your case built on? Well, it's a felony. As a matter of fact, 34 felonies. You're like, is there another human on earth that you would have charged us with? Definitely not. We're not even hiding the ball. We would have never charged a single other person. We want to make him a felon to take away his this, and we'll probably just jail him, dude. Probably jail. Hey, good luck jailing him now, motherfuckers. Good luck with that, But yeah, so we'll just put him in jail. He got 70 million votes last time, the most in history, except for Biden. Except for Biden. Okay, and he has more support now. But you're gonna put him in jail for that? He's a threat to democracy, you fucking moron. Get out of here, dude. Their ability to gaslight is second to none. It is honestly unbelievable. It's almost impressive. It's like when Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis did their little debate thing, and Gavin Newsom's fucking talk track was, well, listen, man, during the pandemic, Florida took the rights of their citizens while California was the freest place in America. You're all, what? He's like, tyranny in Florida, while California, we cared about our citizens. And you're like, and it broke DeSantis' brain because he's like, wait, that's what I was going to say. He's like, yeah, I know. I just lied straight in your fucking face. What are you going to do about it? That's why Gavin Newsom concerns me as a presidential candidate. That guy is an exceptional politician if you have absolutely no morals, ethics whatsoever, and you wanted a president who will for sure prioritize, all the donors and all the billionaires and extract millions of dollars for himself. And he probably has kidnapped children in his basement. That's a joke. It's a joke, but not really. To me, he looks like an actual terrifying psychopath, but nonetheless, you're like, that is a level of gaslighting I can't even wrap my brain around. They're like, it's all they do. Anyway, been here since one case up. You're the man, dude. Thank you very much, dude. And thank you. Let's not forget Ronald Reagan, who got shot, then changed his mind about his VP pick, picking deep state mogul George Bush Sr. Some family, these deep state Bushies, fake Texans too. So it's funny, like that is, you know what? Let me come back to this one. Let me come back to the deep state one because I want to talk about that a little bit more at length. And just, damn, thank you, dude. I appreciate you very much. And yes, okay, so this is perfect. At the end of this thing, don't forget, go look up JD Animation's Trump Many Men. It is so funny. If I put it on the channel, like the system will automatically just, send any revenue over to 50 Cent, which that motherfucker doesn't need the money, that rich ass motherfucker. But yeah, so appreciate you. Everybody should go watch that. Thank you again. Thank you. Has his cell phone been cracked yet? I don't know. I don't understand the question. If you commented, I'll try to look for it and try not to miss it. But I don't know what that means. Duper, thank you very much. Here's perspective. 1 million seconds equals 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds, 31 years. Yes, dude. I saw this actually. Fuck, that's an even better one. I forgot about that one. I saw the documentary you're talking about with Tony Robbins talking about the American economy. I'll leave that up there for you guys. Just think about that, dude. 1 million seconds is 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds is 32 years. 11.5 days, 32 years. And 1 trillion is 31,700 years. And BlackRock has $10.6 trillion under management. Like, whenever you hear these stories about elected officials getting getting corrupted for bribes, I'm always shocked by how little the numbers they get caught for are. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You small time ass mother. I would respect you more, at least if you were making real money as a corrupt person. You know what I mean? But the ones who get real money are generally much better at being corrupt and not getting caught. Joe Biden, for the position that he was in, is Mickey Mouse shit. Hunter Biden going around, he's all, hey, so if you'd like to have a meeting with my dad, a bag of money might help you out a lot. And if you put me on the board, if you have any trouble with the prosecutors, then maybe we could take care of that. They're all, so how do you want us to pay you? So I'll just, out in the open. They're all, your name's Hunter Biden. They're like, yeah, that's fine. and then I pay 50% to the big guy. Okay. Seems like you might get caught for this. No. I'm definitely not going to leave my my laptop full of me having sex with crackheads, to just be open to the entire world. That won't happen. And even if I do, the intelligence agencies will just tell everybody that it's fake news and it's Russian propaganda. So we'll be fine. All right. And then you look at other people, like a former president whose wife is potentially the most powerful and terrifying human in American history. And I mean that respectfully, while simultaneously I wouldn't vote for her ever, but she is terrifying. Okay. They run a foundation under their own name and they bring in billions of dollars as charitable donations, charitable donations, which are tax-free. And, you don't have a crackhead accepting, a crackhead bag man with your last name, doing all of the transactions. Like, that's streamlined gangster shit. Again, I'm not saying I support any kind of corruption, but I can objectively watch a thing and look at how they do it and go, that's a gangster right there. And that's a retard right there. Clintons are gangster shit. And I say that respectfully. I do not want any problems ever. Dude, if I became the biggest podcaster or show in the world, I would constantly come back to that. I'd be like, I mean this, like, I respect your guys' gangster, dude. They scare the shit out of me, and they should scare the shit out of everybody, dude. They're so powerful, it's fucking crazy. And man, you get on the wrong side of her, dude. She's the last enemy on fucking earth that you would ever want. I seriously believe that. Like, I actually think if you were listed the most powerful people in the world, you're like, which of these would be your last choice to have as like a serious adversary? It'd be her. I'd be like, fuck that shit, dude. She is terrifying. Anyway, but again, I mean that very respectfully. Kristen, Jack does say please after Kyle says that in the video. Jack does say please after Kyle says that in the video. Oh, wait, Jack Black's in the video where he said that? Okay, say DM me the thing and I'll look at it later. J.O.E. making his comeback. Yeah. Thank you, dude. Dan T, new subscriber as of yesterday. Love your approach. Totally agree. No retaliation. What makes us different from other countries and no violence. Thank you. Welcome. And I totally agree. Like, that is one of the most important things. And honestly, again, if I think I'm going to run out of time here, but if I did want to get into a longer conversation about the deep state guys, like, they definitely understand the importance of order. You know what I mean? Like, they know how fragile the paradigm is, and I think that's how they view themselves, is they are tasked with the responsibility of keeping order in a world where the majority of the population is completely ignorant to how the world actually works and how thin the veil of civility actually is. Like, that's the world they operate in. And they get brought these choices that are unfathomable, And I was like, I know if I start talking about this talk track, I'll talk for the next 30 minutes. And I don't have 30 minutes, but like, there are things that if you're like, I think that they were responsible for this. And I would be like, do you think that there is a reason that that could ever be justified? And I guarantee you most people would say no. And then I would lay out a hypothesis, a total hypothetical situation, and it'll flip your opinion for sure, But yeah, and I mean, all of that is just bringing back to like no violence, dude. I mean, I'm not fucking Antifa and the Proud Boys want to go punch each other in the face. Have at it. If you're stupid enough to fucking put a label on a group that you are, a part of at this point, if it's a political one on either side, you're a moron. Okay. I'm not saying it's a good thing that you are much more likely to get arrested and put in jail if you say that. I think that's a bad thing, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I have a wife and 3 kids. My responsibility is to protecting them and providing as good a life as I can for them. I go, oh, I'm a Proud Boy. It's like, well, now your likelihood of going to prison just went up exponentially, regardless of what you do. It's like dumb. But, if 2 groups are like, let's go fight it out in the street, and they're just punching each other, who gives a shit? I'm talking guns. I'm talking about deadly force. And honestly, people probably would disagree with the violence that I'm okay with, but I don't care if people fight, obviously. And if they are going to do it, they should definitely take a video of it so I can watch it later and be entertained. Thank you, Lazy Prophet. Trump's life would be so much easier if he didn't run for president, but he fights for us and loves our country. Dude, That's the other thing. The guy is a billionaire. He could literally do whatever he wants, and he's choosing to do this. And the thing is, like, if you really think about, oh, sorry, Colton, I missed this one, dude. And thank you very much as well, dude. If you really think about this, if you ask the people who really hate him, right? They really hate him. They're like, what? And you're like, why do you think he's doing this? I think that they would say he's a narcissist that lusts for power. He just wants all the attention. He just wants the power. And I see him very differently now. I think what he craves more than anything is love and approval from large groups of people. And the way that you get that as the American president is you fucking deliver for them. Help their lives. Like be an inspirational figure that'll get shot in the face and stand up and pump your fist for them. I understand why people see Trump the way that they do on that other side, because I was MSNBC brainwashed in 2015. It's been a long time since I was, but like I know why they see him that way. I just see him absolutely diametrically opposite of that now. You know, he's not a perfect guy. Fuck, dude. If I'm holding people up to perfect standards, I would throw myself off a building. I'm the least perfect fucking guy on earth. But it's like, does he have traits that you respect? I respect him immensely. And again, I trust Dana's word 100%, and Dana vouches for him personally. And like, I hear these stories about like him playing golf with Bo Nickel, and Bo Nickel's like, dude, I mean, that's the kind of thing. Like, I want to hear people who have hung out with him talk, and everyone has the same story. Q, not a conspiracy. Thank you, dude. My own liberal sister is posting that Trump had this coming with his gun policies. And if you're, did that, yeah, Jesus. I'm sorry that, because again, plenty of people in my family disagree with me politically, but I consider all of them smart, and none of them would advocate for Trump getting shot in the head. Like, that's just such a completely different thing. That's my point. It's like, that is a different category, dude. You can hate him. You can tell me, like, I don't care what he does. You're never going to change my mind on him. I'm not voting for him. Okay. You know, I don't think your opinion is well educated on him, but that's your prerogative. God, I wish he had it coming, and it's his policies that led to him almost getting shot in the head. Oh, is that right, smarty pants? You know, if it was my sister, I mean, if it was my sister, I would have a relationship with her, be like, you are dumb. No, I'm not. Yeah. You're dumb. Have you ever seen a person get shot in the head for real? Like, he had it coming. Like, he had it coming. He should have his head blown up on national television. He should have his family see his end replayed on television for the rest of their life, ending violent. Boom. He had it coming. That's a thing you said. Moron. People just say shit and they don't understand what they're saying. That's the thing is, I think my perspective on violence is much more educated than people, because it's not like I have no experience with that kind of thing. And so, like, when I say, the guy shot in the, like, I know I've never been involved in any humans shooting other humans, but I'm saying, like, I've been in lots of physical altercations with people. Like, so it's not make-believe to me. So, like, a person getting shot in the head, it's like, he had it come. What the fuck are you talking about? Did he touch your kid? Did he lock himself in a room with your kid and then take their innocence? That person has it coming for sure. We agree on that. What did he do to have it come? Because you don't like his gun policies? What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, Rusty Moore, thank you very much. What up, Jesse? The guy asking about the cracked cell phone was referring to the shooter's cell. Quantico claims they can't unlock it. Wow. They can't unlock it. They can tap into the microphone 100% of the time and listen to it, but they just can't seem to open it because it's such a high. I guess the question is, do I believe that? Fuck no, I don't believe that at all. Okay. You try to shoot an American president in the face. I think that, forfeits your right to fucking privacy in your cell phone. Okay. So whoever cell phone that is, if you're actually locking the feds out, they're not. So why talk about a hypothetical that's not happening? There's no fucking way that's true. Zero. All right. So I'm all caught up, and I've been talking longer than I expected. Oh my God, I'm an hour late for my dinner. Jesus, I am a fucking moron. I have very poor time management when I get tied up talking to all of you guys, my best friends in the world. I got to run, dude. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll do this more. By the way, I can't believe I haven't said this. If you're new to the channel, I'm on vacation. This is a fucking hotel room. I have a studio. If you go back to, if you're here for the Trump stuff, you just go back a few videos. You're like, man, this guy talked a lot about combat sports, but you can at least see my studio. I'm in the studio 98% of the time. So you'll see a drastic improvement in my setup next week, but I'll still be the same guy. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. See you soon.